I'm a 58-year-old woman. I divorced. I've got a 22-year-old daughter who's standing on her own 2 feet, so I live on my own. I used to work as a cardiac sonographer, meaning doing ultrasound scans of the heart and writing reports for specialist cardiologists, GPs, about my findings, so it would help them in the treatment of the patient. I worked in mainland Europe in cardiology for 9 or 10 years. After I moved to the UK, I initially didn't feel that I wanted to go back to the hospital. It was a chapter I'd said goodbye to, and the plan was to do something completely different with my now ex-husband. But unfortunately, a year after we moved to the UK, we split up. So the whole plan that we had and we've been working towards sort of fell apart. And the only way for me, as a single mother, to make ends meet was to go back and work in that profession. So that's how I got back into the hospital. My heart wasn't really into it anymore. And although I still enjoyed doing the job, I didn't like the idea of continuing in that same work and the same job till I retired. I worked in hospitals for about 20 years until I made the decision to stop doing that, and I took a bit of a jump. I don't work in the hospital anymore. What I'm doing now is, after my degree course of 3D designer maker of craft products, I'm a self-employed designer maker, and I work also part-time for a company that works with architecture and design. To make that decision, I didn't sit down too long with it. First of all, I trusted my heart telling me that that's the way to go. But I also wanted to make sure that it was financially doable, that I didn't risk getting into trouble. The financial situation was, of course, part of my thought process. I knew that during the years in university, I would get my funding, and so those years wouldn't be a problem. It was more about after university. But that was a risk I was prepared to take. Security is very overrated, I think. When I made the decision to leave the hospital, I had many different reactions and responses from colleagues and friends. People were happy for me because they sort of recognized that that would be closer to my heart than what I was doing. Others were almost angry that I took 20 years of knowledge in that specific field out of the hospital. The reactions to my decision that were negative, about taking away my knowledge and risking a secure future, I could understand it, but at the same time this says more about the people making those remarks than it was saying about me. And I was determined to do it anyway. I didn't really change my decision because of that. It made me think, of course, because that's what you do when people make remarks like that, but it didn't change anything for me. For me, this was actually the first time in my life that I thought, this is for me, for nobody else, it's just for me. And that was just fantastic. What it has shown me is that it's okay to trust my instinct. It's just seeing a train passing and deciding to jump on it. There's not a lot of thought. Of course, there is a bit of thought involved, but it's you have to jump, otherwise you miss it. It's a chance. You see the chance coming and you either get on that train or you let it pass. I think it's a bit of a cliche to say that you don't regret the things you've done, but you will regret the things you haven't done. I think I'm a believer of that. Having worked in a hospital, I've came across a lot of people in distress and also people at their end of their life. And again, most of the regrets that people were telling me about were about things they didn't do. It was always about time spent with loved ones, doing things that they loved doing, and the regret of not doing that. And I think that always stayed with me. I think I would be able to take a jump and a decision like that again in my life, no matter what age.